Hey guys, Phil here. I know that it's not Friday yet. It's only Monday, right? But this was something that I wanted to go ahead and put out there before we get to Friday, because I've got something else planned for Friday. And by the time we get to Friday, unless you live in a hole underground somewhere, you've already heard about this anyways. But yeah, today I just kind of want to talk real quick about equality. Um, and it's something that I should know something about because I have to deal with, you know, diminishing, returns on equality in some cases in my own life. So it's not like I'm talking about something here that I know nothing about. Um, but if you've been on the internet like for 2 seconds at all, or watched the news at all over the weekend, then you will know that the Supreme Court decided that anybody who wants to get married basically can get married as far as the judicial system and legal system and all of that stuff is concerned. Um, and I don't know, I guess I just have an issue with the way that people are portraying that around now. There are a lot of people out there, whether it's on the internet or on the news, or whether you're, whoever, and a lot of them are saying, "Oh, well, now, we've finally gotten to the point where everybody can be equal." Um, even the president said something in his comments and release on the issue. He said that it was all based on that right of, oh, well, God created us all equally, right? So, everybody should have an equal chance at going and doing everything. And that's, it's skewed, right? If you think about it, because, yeah, so we were created equal, but do I look like you do? And do you look like, the guy down the street from you does? We all look different. We all act differently. Um, we all have different talents and abilities, and things that we do and things that we can't do, and just different personalities. Like nobody is the same, right? So, uh, saying that, oh well, everybody needs to be equal, and we need to be able to, this law will allow us to love everybody, right? Isn't that kind of just bullshit? Why do we need a law uh, to love another person? That doesn't even make sense to me. Or well, okay, I just don't agree with that. It's not that it doesn't make sense. I mean, I guess I can kind of see where someone's coming from that and say, oh, well, I'm not going to get in trouble for loving this other person. But I mean, come on, like, we don't need a law to tell us that it's right to love each and every person that we run across, right? I mean, come on, that's basically ingrained in who we are as humans. We shouldn't need a regulation or law to figure that out or to direct us and tell us that, hey, you shouldn't be a jerk to everybody that you come across, no matter what they are, what they look like, or what they do or don't do. Um, whether that has to do with religion or, other choices or just the way they look. Some of these things that they can't choose, um, just, the way they are, like none of that should matter if you're trying to love everybody the same way. So this whole thing of, oh, well, it allows us to love other people, equally and in the same way as we would anybody else. That's a bunch of bull, man. We should already be doing that. So, that argument kind of goes out the door. The other thing that bugs me is that the guy who is the Supreme Court justice who was, I guess, commenting on the majority opinion, as he was kind of writing up the final thing after all the voting and whatnot. He came into contact with some part of it that he didn't really totally agree with, and he kind of point blank said, I'm not really sure how this works or how this fits, or why this is here as part of the opinion, but yet he didn't change his mind and say, hey, you know, I don't agree with this, so like I'm not going to back this. Like he ended up backing it anyways. And I guess it doesn't make sense to me because if you are in a position to change things like that and you don't agree with something but yet you go along with it anyways, like aren't you kind of at the same time saying that you do agree with it? So does he really not agree with it, or did he just lie to everybody and say that he didn't agree with it to make him sound good with one group and then turn around and just pass the thing anyways? And it really doesn't make any sense. Like, what on earth are we doing here, people? Don't we have bigger issues to tackle here rather than um, what people seem to be concerned about? um, I don't know, I guess that's the other bit of this that bugs me, is that we're taking the time to focus on the fact that something that probably really shouldn't be. I mean, people are just like, oh, well, this will help now. But I think this was also in the opinion from the court, was that, oh, well, if it's legal, then that'll help the kids, right? Okay, look, man, if you have two moms or two dads as your parents, and that's it, like you don't have a mom and a dad, but you have two of one or the other, uh, then aren't you kind of missing like the other half? Because there are things that like your mom can teach you and your mom can give you that your dad can't, and vice versa. So if you don't have both pieces, you're kind of messed up. Like there's a reason why people with single parents have mental, psychological, sometimes even physical issues. Uh, because they don't have that affection from both parents. They've only got the one. So think about it. If you have the one side of it multiplied by two, um, but it's the same side, like doesn't that just kind of reinforce the negative aspects rather than the positive aspects? Because honestly, like I'm a guy, so like I don't know or understand all of the things that girls, that women can teach, daughters and girls and stuff. So if I was, just for argument's sake, if I was with another guy, I can't teach my daughter all the girly stuff that she needs to understand in the proper way. Like, sure, I can try and I can read books and, whatever, and I can try to understand it, but, you're not going to get the same result as you would if it was a mom and a dad rather than two moms or two dads. It just doesn't work, man. Yeah, so I don't know, the whole thing just, it just bugs me, and it's the same thing. I feel like it's almost the same argument that people are still trying to throw around now as the whole race thing. I don't know if you guys have heard about that, probably, but there's still a lot of people that are just like, oh, well, you don't know what it was like to deal with slavery, and like we're still stuck in that, and so I need my rights. And I'm like, okay, look, um, you do realize that slavery ended a long time ago, right? It didn't end in, 1990 or whatever, when you were born. It's not like it's that recent of a thing. It was a long time ago. Go back and check your history facts, please. Uh, unless you're over 100 years old and you're still around, you don't have a direct tie to slavery anymore. So please stop using that as an excuse. It's really annoying. It's just as annoying as this whole, oh, well, we finally got a law, guys. Yeah. Now we can be nice to people. Like, what? Are you kidding me? What is that? Come on, people, wake up. Um, we don't need laws and regulations on this stuff just to finally figure out that, oh, we shouldn't be, jerks to each other, and we should treat everyone the same way, and all that stuff. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know where people are coming from with this stuff. They think that that's the big important stuff. No, it's really not. And the fact that people that are in charge of the way that these things run, that's what they're worried about, rather than the huge giant list of stuff, that I could sit here and go through, but I won't, because you guys know just as well as I do the real things that are wrong and the real things that need to be fixed. If you don't, then sure, I'll go through them with you. But seriously, there is other stuff that really needs to be fixed, and this is not really an issue, because I don't know that it really fixes anything. We're giving people something that down the line somewhere is just going to cause more issues. It's going to cause more divorces, because people are going to realize that it doesn't work. We're going to screw up more kids, which I guess is really what I have a problem with, is that we're just going to end up screwing up more kids because they're not going to have the right parenting, because their parents are not your traditional parents, and that's not fair to our kids, and that's not going to help us to survive in future generations. Does anyone else see a problem with this? Because it seems like unless you're really religious, or you're Catholic, like nobody gives a damn about what's going on. And I even heard one guy, online in some video or whatever that was just like, oh, well, just let God handle it, because He's all seeing and all knowing and all powerful and all that, and He'll just take care of it. It's like, okay, but do you even understand the way that God works at this point? He's not going to come down and smack you in the face, or you better not. That's normally not the way that He works. Generally, He works through us, which means that we have to wake up enough to try to make a change for the better, and that we have to try to put the better stuff in. But when we don't do that, then it doesn't happen right away. And it takes a lot longer, and things just get worse. But if we do our part, then sure, yeah, we can change things, we can get it done, we can get it fixed, to just the best way that it can be. But if we don't do anything, if we just say, God will take care of that, I feel like that's a little too passive, guys. That's not what we're called to do. As humans, we're just that's just not it. And everybody's trying to rationalize this and make it relevant, to the way that they think, it should be right. And they're like, oh, well, really, if you think about it, like, it's all relative to the way that, I think, or whatever. And then they're giving their opinion on the way that it should be. But, there's a reason that for so long, marriage was between one guy and one girl, and that's it. That's just, it worked, okay? It worked for hundreds and thousands of years, if not millions of years, depending on when the first people got married, but at least thousands of years. Are you hearing me, people? Thousands of years of success with the way that this worked, and now we want to change it. We want to go against thousands of years of history and success and say that we know better than all of those other people, and that we can improve this by completely changing the dynamic. Somebody please tell me how the hell that makes sense, because I don't see it. I just don't see it. Yeah, so I don't really have anything else for you guys right now, at this point, because I'm still trying to process this, but hopefully somebody pulls their head out of the sand, and tries to do something to stand up against this massive wave of just, I don't know, just weakness, that people are not, nobody cares. People are saying that, that it's fine, it's not a big deal. And for some reason, the religious guys are the only people saying anything, but you would think that more people with common sense would have something to say, that this goes against, a whole bunch of things other than just religion, and nobody seems to care. So I don't know. It's not going to make it any better. I'll just tell you that now. It's not going to make it any better unless we can do something to wake people up, because people are just not paying attention, and they're just not living right. This is not what we're meant to be, and we've fallen off the cliff. I don't know what else to say, guys. All right, so I'll see you guys on Friday for Fridays with Phil, and we'll get back to the blog post and stuff, and we'll talk about all that at the end of the week. So have a good week, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.